Hi everyone, I'm Lee Chanjie and today I will be presenting my individual assignment based on an interview I conducted regarding a real moral issue in the workplace and analyzed using Aristotle's concept of the golden mean. The interviewer I spoke to previously worked as a data analyst in a company where his main responsibility was to manage, organize, and analyze confidential customer data from various client companies. The nature of his work requires strict professional ethics, as the data contains private business information that should never be shared without authorization. One day, one of the company's long-term clients, which I will refer to as Company A, requested access to confidential customer data belonging to another client, Company B. Company A wanted this data to improve its market targeting and business strategy. However, the data did not belong to them and was strictly protected. The interviewee understood clearly that sharing Company B confidential data would be both illegal and unethical. However, his supervisor directly instructed him to hand over the data to Company A. At that moment, he felt stuck between two conflicting choices. On one hand, he knew what was morally and legally right, to protect the confidentiality and privacy of Company B. On the other hand, he feared that refusing the request could damage his relationship with his supervisor or even cost him his job. Under pressure and anxiety, he chose to obey his supervisor and gave Company A the confidential customer data. After doing so, he was overwhelmed with guilt and regret. He explained that the decision continued to trouble him emotionally, and eventually he resigned from the company because he felt the working environment did not align with his personal values. For the data analyst, the main vice present is cowardice, which means lacking the courage to act upon what he knows is ethically correct. He is not doing something evil intentionally, but he is awaiting difficult action due to fear. However, the situation also reveals a positive aspect. He still holds the virtue of loyalty to his company and his supervisor. His hesitation comes from not wanting to harm the relationship or cause disruption. This shows that his intentions are not selfish, but the challenge lies in balancing loyalty with the courage to stand firm on what is morally right. On the other hand, the supervisor exhibits the voice of injustice and greed. By asking for the data to be manipulated, he prioritized personal or company advantage over truth and fairness. For example, he shared the Company B privacy information with Company A in order to maintain the long-term collaboration, which had directly damaged the benefit and privacy right of Company B. This can lead to inaccurate decisions and potential harm to stakeholders who rely on truthful data. The greed shown is not necessarily financial. It may be a desire for recognition, approval, or maintaining status. Regardless, the disregard for fairness makes the action unethical and unfair. In the case of the data analyst, cowardice is the deficiency, meaning that he acts too little when moral courage is needed. The excess would be recklessness, such as confronting the supervisor aggressively or dramatically exposing the situation without thought. The golden mean in this situation is courage, which can stand out for ethical and moral standards, even facing all kinds of pressure and difficulties. In this situation, the supervisor behavior reflects a deficiency from the golden mean in two areas, justice and generosity. According to Aristotle, the moral virtue lies in the balanced middle, while both deficiency and excess are considered vice. For justice, the golden mean is fairness, treating business partners honestly and respecting their rights. However, the supervisor moved to the deficiency side, which is injustice. By asking the analyst to share Company B confidential data without consent, the supervisor ignored ethical responsibility and fairness, prioritizing Company A advantage. This shows a lack of respect for equal treatment and trust. To help the data analyst develop courage, several personal actions can be taken. First, Practicing self-awareness can help him understand his fear and motivation as regularly reflected when fear influences silence. Next, he can slowly practice speaking out in smaller, low-risk situations to express own opinion to build confidence. Repeating this action over time gradually strengthens courage as a habit, not just a reaction. Finally, learning from good role models in the workplace or mentors can guide him on how to communicate assertively and ethically. For example, observing and learning how they express their own opinion respectfully. For the supervisor, developing virtues require reflection and change in mindset. Reflecting on the consequences of unfair action can help him realize the long-term harm caused by manipulating data. Practicing fairness in everyday decisions without favoritism can build consistency in ethical conduct. Valuing trust over personal gain encourages more responsible leadership. Developing empathy also allows him to consider how his decisions affect others, fostering a more ethical organizational culture to help him always consider common interests rather than one interest. Thank you for your attention. That's all from my presentation.